Good morning, everyone. This is our regular staff meeting for Monday, April 6th. Hope everybody had a nice weekend and Easter weekend. We'll start with our warrant review and approval. Misty, anything of note? No? Okay, starting on page 1. Page 2.
Madam Chair, I have one question on page 2, and I don't, probably just because I'm ignorant as to terminology. Under Great Western State Supply on the corner, we have a bunny suit MX25. And I'm just wondering what a bunny suit MX25 is, just because of probably ignorance of terminology.
I even wrote it down because I knew somebody was going to ask.
And I'm wondering if I might not want one. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
Good morning, Dr.
You don't want one.
Yeah, good morning. That terminology, buddy suits, it's a biohazard suit and they list it as a buddy suit in their item, so it's, yeah.
Okay.
I don't know how to explain that.
I assumed so, but I just thought maybe you had an Easter egg hunt that I missed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I wrote it down because I knew somebody's going to ask me.
All right, thank you, sir.
Thanks, Dr. Bird. Page 3. Page 4. Page 5. And then the airport. Commissioner Jennings.
Sure. Just a quick question for Robert. We had the $2,210 for QuickBooks Enterprise Gold on this, but we also had that same exact amount on the last list of warrants. Just wondering, is that a annual subscription or a monthly subscription?
Morning, Robert Hill, Sheridan County Airport. I'd have to double check the invoices. Was one for the invoice and the other one for the credit card payment of the invoice?
I don't know. I have less.
That's,
I don't know if that'll help. Let's see. Where's the credit card?
I'll probably have to follow up on that
Okay,
one.
that's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine, thank you.
If there's no other questions, I'd look for a motion to approve the warrants as presented.
Madam Chair, I move to approve the warrants as presented.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any other discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? Thank you. Staff and elected reports. Mark, good morning.
Morning, Commissioners, Mark Reed, County Planner. Your planning commission met last Tuesday, May 31st. It was a rescheduled meeting again from their regular Thursday meeting. Anyway, they had a couple items. They had an easement vacation, utility purposes in Powder Park, Lion Dog Investments LLC. And that was recommended for approval. Second item they considered was a setback variance from Guian on Wagon Box Road, and that was recommended for denial. You'll see those items on your April 21st agenda, I believe. So the JPA update group is going to be on April 23rd to review and I guess rank the proposals that the city's received for that work. So down at the city hall. So, anyway, that's about all I have. Any questions? Try it.
Questions for Mark?
Mark, I have one question. Are we going to see those JPA do we know if are we going to see those applications before that day?
Don't know. They actually aren't due till what, the 9th, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah, I suspect they'll send them out so we can look.
I would hope we'd see them before
Yeah.
that time. I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, I think that's the plan.
Okay.
I'll let you know if it is. So.
All right, thank you.
Yep.
all I had.
Okay.
Thank you.
Morning, Ken.
Morning, Ken Muller, County Engineer. Just to follow up on the storm, our big storm. Guys were out Friday, of course, all day, Saturday, most of the day, and even Sunday, some part of the day. So cleaning up. Everything went pretty well. We had a few complaints upstairs. Just I think people forget sometimes that it can't snow in this country, and we haven't had that kind of snow for a while. So had one gentleman, I guess, thought he'd help us out and put his dozer on the road, damage the road. So we're assessing the damage on that, and I'll come to you probably to decide what you want to do, send him a bill or not, so. But
Okay.
yeah, so,
Shift.
yeah, kind of damaged the stretch of road.
Yeah, Commissioner Arce, yeah.
Cold Creek?
Okay.
Yeah. East of the county, so. That's all I have.
Okay. Any other questions? Great.
You know, I just say that I appreciate, I communicated with Travis several times during the day, and I appreciate what they were going through. And I think that a lot of people, I had several calls from people that lived in town wanting to know what's going on, but, and I think nobody understood what happened on the west side. I mean, it was immense amounts.
Out east too.
Yeah, yeah. And then I heard that out north, they got nothing.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
It's
so
not the only place that we heard that there wasn't a lot of snow.
it's so hit and miss, but yeah, it was when I do believe in, and I will stress this too. I think when Travis tells the school that they have to close schools, they have to close schools. And I will stress that to the school, because like my grandson, there's no way in God's name he's gonna get to school, you know, I mean. Partially because my son's truck was stuck right in the middle of the road and nobody could get by it, but yeah. Anyway. Good.
Thanks,
Thanks.
Ken.
Thank you.
Madam Chair.
Yeah.
Is Travis around? I saw him earlier, but is he here still in the?
Yeah, he's out. He was here earlier this morning and visited with me and yeah.
I thanked him back there for all of the road and bridge, what they did, stepping up in that, but I wanted to publicly also, commend him for the good job that he did.
Pass it on.
Thank you.
Misty, anything else this morning? Deb? Clerk Thompson? No? Jesse?
Good morning, Commissioners. Just wanted to also follow up on the storm. I think the coordination and the work that we do ahead of time, preparing for these storms, pays dividends. Working together with the Sheriff's Department, the road and bridge crews, YDOT, Highway Patrol, EMS, all the fire departments, all of them, we're coordinating together and working pretty well through the EOC, trying to get information out, and also MDU crews. We're all trying to coordinate all that information together. I mean, talk about complications. The fire department had to use snowmobiles to be able to get 911 subjects out during the storm. So that kind of stuff just really helps being able to coordinate all of that and work together on that. So commend all of our first responders in that response. Just wanted to follow up. We have the EOP tomorrow. That's on your agenda. Also the MOU with Bighorn County, Montana. Those are on your agendas. And then also, I just sent out a media release on this Skywarn Storm Spotter training that's coming up. It's partnership with the University of Wyoming Extension Office. So I contacted them. They're going to be the ones hosting the actual event there at the college. And then also in coordination with the National Weather Service. So that's a free class. It's on Thursday, April 30th from 5 to 7 p.m. at the Ag Building, room 131. It's free. It's a 2-hour class put on by our meteorologist from the Weather Service. They're going to come down and present that. So I think it's really good training for not only our first responder agencies, but also a lot of farmers and ranchers like to usually attend that class, and it helps them just to understand what type of weather systems there are also help ground truth some of this stuff because we have huge radar gaps here. There's a lot of weather systems, especially the lower elevation ones that just the Weather Service can't see on their radars. So they rely on storm spotters to be able to help send out those alerts and warnings. So just wanted to highlight that. Is there any questions for me?
Questions for Jesse?
Nope.
No? Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Dr. Bird?
Good morning again. Just wanted to update you on that disposable drain that we purchased last time. We finally got a shipping label from the company to ship it back, and so it's in their queue now. So somewhere in the next 60 to 90 days, we'll see a bump in our credit card credit for 1702.82.
Great.
So had to go to the higher chain to get this thing moving because we tried to get the regional guy involved and we never got the label
Interesting.
to ship it. So happened to run into the senior director of operations. And
Yeah.
he sent me an email. He says, this will happen. And so 3 weeks ago, we got it shipped out. So
Gotcha.
with their label. So
Appreciate your diligence on that. Thank you, Dr. Bird.
it was a tough one.
Thanks for joining us. Good. Quick fun? Anything for us this morning?
No, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Heidi? Maxwell? Kimber?
Good morning, Madam Chair, Commissioners, Kimber Solberg, Fairgrounds Director. Doesn't sound like it's on. Just wanted to inform the board that the grant request that you all had agreed to match the funds was denied. And the reason that it was denied is just because of the seating capacity, which was part of the criteria. We tried to thread that needle and didn't make it, so.
Thanks.
But just wanted to let you know the outcome of that. Listen to the meeting by Zoom and I'll say gave last ditch effort and it was like, doesn't meet the criteria, so it was flat out denied right there, so. We'll keep attempting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate, the conversations you were able to have with the state, and there's just not many places that meet that threshold, so it'd be nice if they had something available that was a little bit more accessible to a majority of fairgrounds across the state.
On a personal level, I think that some of that is, there's an intention of where that.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming that China Frontier Day got a thing.
The very lion's share, yes. 3 million.
Because they wrote it because they're the only one who meet the
$3,950.
criteria. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, it was, I'm just gonna say, I'm gonna say maybe the window will be a little wider open in the future, but for this time, they had a very designated path.
Sure.
Well, appreciate your efforts on
Yeah,
that.
well,
Thank you.
I'm gonna keep working on it and I appreciate the information on the grant class and I am planning to sign up for that, so keep after it.
Okay, sounds great.
Thank you.
Any
Thanks,
questions?
Kimber.
Great. Eric?
Nothing today.
Robert?
Nothing today.
Kelly? Manny? Sure. Nope. Diane? Nope. Cameron?
Madam Chair, Commissioners, good morning. Just 2 heads up, PMCH was supposed to on Friday give me the audit preparation engagement letter. That did not come in on time. I have added it to the agenda for next Monday for discussion, but the actual packet, what the letter is saying, may not make it by the 10 o'clock deadline this morning. So I'll get that to the clerk's office as soon as we receive it, but it will be on the agenda for next Monday. And then the sheriff's office contacted me and I spoke with Mark Ramber about this as well. The phone system, we had budgeted in capital improvements, $35,000 for an upgrade of the sheriff's phone system. That took place, but Mark and I were under the impression we were going to get billed all at once for it. They're doing it on a monthly basis now over 3 years. So it was $35,000 that was budgeted in capital improvements. We have spent zero of it, but he's getting the bills on his telephone expenditure side. So that's going to be spread out. It's the same amount, but I need to talk to the clerk's office because it will involve a budget amendment. It's be about 13,000 more this year. And the 35,000 itself won't be spent in the same way. We eventually will have to do phone upgrades to a couple other locations, including this building. If we do that for the next year, we'll get that to Ida as part of the budget request. We're just not sure if it'll be this next year or the year after.
Okay.
Does that make sense, what I was trying to say? Commissioner?
Yeah, Madam Chair, Cameron, why can't we take the 35,000 and just pay it on there and be done with it?
I asked the exact same thing.
Okay, they won't do that.
No,
They won't.
they're doing it more in style of a lease over time. And it's, think of it as a corporation. They like to show that there's revenue on a regular basis rather than one hit. So no, we were unable to prepay it. But when we did the budgeting, we thought we could. So that's why we put it as a lump sum. Sorry.
And by virtue of the fact that it's spread out over 3 years, it's still the same amount. There's not
Same amount.
interest accrued or anything on it during that time. Okay.
Yeah, they just make it difficult for us. That's all I got.
Thank you. Commissioner Jennings,
Another meeting.
Commissioner Arzi.
Yeah, a couple of things. I guess, well, the one I'm wondering from Heidi, are we still on board to do a spring health fair at Claremont? Or are we just gonna do the fall one? We were talking about that last Wednesday down there. Kind of
Yeah.
unsure.
Yeah, good morning. Wednesday, I'm actually heading out to Claremont again to kind of solidify some of those details. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
Cause there's,
more to come.
I've got some surrounding ranchers in that area that are kind of interested in it as
Oh,
well
okay,
too,
good.
so.
Yeah, I'll be out there Wednesday and hopefully get some more stuff in solid written down. So,
Super. Thank
okay.
you. Yeah. That's all I have.
Commissioner Siddle?
I'll be out Wednesday. I'm going to a meeting in Cody. And then I have neck surgery next Wednesday. So I'm not sure really truthfully what to expect for the recovery, but I would assume I'll be out at least next Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Then hopefully back among the moving around. So, okay. That's my life.
All right. Glad you're getting it done.
Yeah.
Commissioner Ray?
Nothing at this time, Madam Chair.
I will be out next Tuesday. I've got board meetings out of town, so, but in the rest of this week and next week. Moving on to item 4. Consider $150,000 funding request from the Sheridan County Public Library System to modernize the former library's elevator system. We've got Amy Long, the library director, and a couple additional folks in support, so please come on up.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good morning, Commissioners. I have Anna Edwards from the Board of Trustees and Shannon Anderson. Sorry, Shannon Anderson from the Foundation Board. We submitted a request to replace all of the parts that wear out on our elevator. It is at end of life for those parts. They are having trouble getting a hold of them. And the mechanisms that cause them to wear out are also creating issues. So the vendor, which is Otis, it's an Otis elevator, recommended that we try to modernize. It's actually been a recommendation for about 3 years. And it's got to the point where we can't run the elevator without knowing whether it will actually let people out or not, which is kind of yeah. So we haven't been running it for about 2.5 months at this point, waiting to see what we could. On the reason Shannon is here is because the foundation has invested capital improvement funds or capital funds that were raised for the library in the grant project in the amount of $200,000. And so that is why we weren't able to rely on the foundation for this particular project. And so we have them here as well, and then the board approved the request in the middle of the year, so we could get it fixed as soon as we could.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that, and I appreciate foundation support on the other project as well, because that'll be a big one to get done, and a great opportunity. And now that we have some extra funds in our GPET, because we won't need a match for the grant for the fairgrounds, I guess I'm just open to the discussion. I'm in support of supporting the library with this request. We need to have a working elevator at the library. And I would recommend taking it out of GPET, but I would open it up for discussion.
Madam Chair.
Yeah.
I do have a question before we get into a motion, Director Long. As I'm looking through this request for funding, I was trying to determine, in one section, it talks about alternate 1, 2, and 3. And those include battery backup device, cab interior and ceiling, and cab air purifier. Is this $144,500 quote, does that include those 3 alternatives or are those additional? I couldn't tell from the quote.
That's a very good question. I'm not positive. I'm not positive if the alternates are included or not. But I can inquire with them, that's more specific.
Well, certainly one of the concerns that I have with that is all alternate 2, cab interior and ceiling. It's an additional $25,000 to basically upgrade the interior. And, I understand mechanics we need to fix, but I don't know if we need to spend $25,000 for upgrading paint and all of that. I guess I'll wait until we get a motion in a second before I do discussions. That way, if anybody else has questions.
Madam Chair.
Yeah.
Alternates are not included in the price. So the quoted price is 144.5. You would add these on top of that quoted price.
Madam Chair, I did get that. I was just confused because in this first section, it does say where it's listing all the new parts, then it says alternate 1, 2, and 3. So it makes it seem like it's included in that.
Right. I would agree, Madam Chair, I would agree with Commissioner Junius's analysis, I guess. Also, I guess with it being upgraded, excuse me, and modernized, I could see that the interior of the elevator would probably need to be remodeled as well, because there's probably going to be a new panel that has all the buttons on it and the braille and all the things they talk about. Maybe the old panel, or maybe the new panel needs to be larger or smaller depending on what. So I could see where that would need to happen.
I also wondered if they might have to deconstruct some of it in order to do some of the replacement, and if this would cover
Yeah.
not having to maybe recycle all of that if it got damaged. But I can certainly ask for more detail.
Madam Chair,
Yeah.
Commissioner Wright, I did have that same thought, but actually it's already listed out in here, our operating manual for new fixtures. That particular items, so if I understood correctly, the alternate, well, it says right here, this is plan install a new cab interior for the above elevator. We're talking laminate colors for floors and color for sidewalls and rear wall. So I'm not even sure the panel is included in that. It's something different.
Madam Chair.
Yeah.
So I apologize. I was supposed to be involved with the library. When it's talking car operating panel and the new fixtures, that's just a little plate where you're pressing the buttons. It is not talking the entire walls. That's why, Amy will double check, but that's why I'm saying these are separate to do the add-ons would be above and beyond the 144,000.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I have a question. And, this elevator, it, also lends itself to being ADA compliant. Is that not correct for the? I mean, it's something we have to get done, is what I guess I'm leaning towards there.
Yes, yeah, it will have to be done eventually, and if it's not done now, we can't reliably use the elevator at this point. And yeah, for ADA compliance, technically, everything on the mezzanine is mostly also available on the first floor, but that's kind of,
Yeah, it's not
Limited.
accessible.
yeah,
to
it's
folks in
really not
wheelchairs.
accessible for
Yeah.
the study rooms. And while we have the inner circle as an option to offer somebody, if someone was meeting up there, they would not be able to get up there. We're not currently doing art shows, but normally we would. But because of the renovation, we didn't have any scheduled. So again, that was the other limitation with elevators down, is that folks can't get up there to see the art that's been posted or go to those programs, so.
Thank you.
Yeah, I would read these that, the alternates are not included. I know they're on page 3 of 9, but they're just spelled out as alternates. No,
We're sure of that, Madam Chair,
that's how I read it.
because Amy's not.
That's how I read it as well, but I can understand where the confusion is. I don't know if it's an option to approve the modernization of the elevator without the alternates, and then I could double check the price with them. I don't know if that's an option. Or I could contact them today and get you guys the update by next week.
What's folks'
Well, Matt, I guess, so that we can discuss this, I think I will go ahead and say I move to approve the $150,000 funding request from the Sheridan County Public Library System to modernize the Fulmer Library's elevator system.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second discussion?
Well, I guess alternatives or not, there's $144,000 quote that says that is the way I read it. The price includes the provisions of 144,500. 145,000 covers that. Appears to me that these alternatives are just that and not necessary to get the elevator functional. And so I think we go on that. If there's a proposal to do this other stuff later, we can deal with it later. And maybe you can find out, maybe it is all part of the deal, but at least we have a functional elevator if we do that portion of it.
Madam Chair, historically, I don't think the county has supported the library with capital construction, which I kind of look at this as that. And I hate being held hostage by a contractor when there's only one or two in the whole world that work on elevators. For instance, we cannot hire a mechanical contractor to go in there and work on it. We would be probably sued because of the unions and some of the labor.
Warranties.
Yeah, all that stuff. That being said, yeah, it's important that the library have an elevator because there's a lot of access issues, ADA, and it's not going to get cheaper.
Yeah.
We already know that. So I will be in favor of this, even though we are not quite sure what the alternatives are, if they are included or not. It doesn't sound like they are.
Madam Chair.
Yeah.
Sorry to interject. Under clarifications number 3, cabin interior can be purchased for an extra cost from the Phillips Elevator Company, but it's not included in the scope of the work. So every one of the alternatives says add on. So they did call it out in the clarification that it would be an additional cost.
Madam Chair,
Yeah.
first of all, thank you for that, Cameron. I appreciate that. Was pretty confusing looking through that. I'm absolutely for the idea of the library getting elevator. Where I have a little bit of consternation is the fact that yes, we have extra DPAP money, but there's a lot of things that the county needs to be doing as well. I mean, we just had a snow issue that happened where maybe we need to support our road and bridge. What's it gonna look like for, I mean, we just heard about road damages. Maybe the person's gonna be able to pay for it, maybe they're not. I think we've got a lot of things coming up, and I understand that the foundation, that you guys have put money forward towards this renovation. I think that's admirable. But that's gonna be ending in December. And at that point, that money will come back to the library, because as I understand it correctly, the grant, you pay for whatever the items are, and then you're reimbursed. Am I correct in that?
That's correct.
Yeah, so I'd much rather, and Commissioner Wright said it correctly, not historically, we haven't done capital funding for this. So I'd like to stay with that. I'd like to see the foundation really maybe dig in a little bit deeper and work on that and maybe fund it instead of the county. Please.
Yeah, thank you, Madam Chair, Commissioners. Shannon Anderson, I'm the chair of the Foundation Board for the library. And just wanted to offer clarification that actually the county has supported capital campaigns in the past, and particularly the roof reconstruction of the library. It was a modest contribution from the county, but recognizing it as a county building, there is actually state statute that requires you to kind of maintain the status of that building as a library and open to the community and accessible to the community. I'd also just offer, because the foundation contributed very significantly to that roof project and the other projects of the library, our funding has been down the last few years. And so we've actually been contributing more to the library, but our accounts are down relative to where they were even just a few years ago. Just to give you a basis, our operating accounts at the end of last year were 133,000. At the end of 2024, they were 271,000. So we're down 140,000 just over the last year, based on contributions that we have made to the library. In our capital campaign account, we do have a little bit of remaining balance in there that would be available, but we also know that the HVAC system and other needs of the library are coming due relatively soon. We also have a couple of CDs, but really that's it. We can't dig any deeper. We've dug deep for the library. And we've given what we can. So we hope that you'll be able to give today. Thank you.
Thank you, Shannon.
And happy to answer any questions. Our accounts are open, happy to share them. You know, folks want to see them, so.
Yeah, I'll be in support. It's our county library.
Yeah, Madam Chairman, I mean, we own the building. I think that we have some obligation to maintain, especially the ADA portion with no elevator available. And I mean, if you've got a mechanical structure in a building that's not working, it needs repaired. So I will be in favor.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
Aye.
I
Motion passes. Thank you. And with that, we are adjourned at 9:33.